Alright everyone, this is Robert again, this time with a new video. Last video, I was working on a project where I'm preparing to run a game where every character in this playthrough is configured only for a specific elemental type of damage. This one right here, I'm actually using my ability to reclass from another playthrough where it was basically like, this is the save game right before I go in and beat the crap out of I think Gortash. But anyway, and no, that's not how he started out, that's horrible. But basically my thought was like, I'm gonna do another playthrough, so I loaded this up because I have a level 12 character and I can use the save file to like make sure I do things correctly. But I thought, why not have every character be a different elemental type of damage. And by the way, this guy looks like Itzhak Perlman. I intentionally did that to try to make him look like Itzhak Perlman. Arguably one of the best violinists in the 20th century. Definitely recommend picking up his 2 CD set of all the Mozart violin concertos. It makes for amazing music. It's going to sound like you're at some really expensive restaurant, you know, for the non-music people. But anyway, so here's the thing. In this playthrough, everyone was a bard. Like, he's a bard, you know, they're a bard. They're all bards. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and use this as my little guinea pig to do stuff. Last time I learned that... what I learned last time was that the way to maximize fire damage with this character was to specifically go Cleric 1 and then Wizard 11. Because wizards have the most access to fire spells. So let's try a different one. Let's try Thunder. Let's try Thunder. That's actually one that's built into bards. Of all the classes, bards have tons of thunder spells. They're not the only one, but they have tons of them. So let's try that. Let's go over here. Now I might use some wizard stuff to see what I can do, but for the most part it's going to be one of those things where like bards on paper, bards have the most thunder spells. Unlike fire though, bards are not good for fire because most of the spells that are fire based are in magical secrets. So even if you're a lore bard, you only get 4 through the whole playthrough. And you can finagle with some magic initiate stuff, but you really don't get as many, whereas wizard was the top one. I'm going to try this one, and I haven't even tried this one before making the video, so I'm just going to play around with it. Thunder. Thunder would mainly be bards. However, I know that clerics get, at the beginning, with Tempest Domain, they get access to Thunder Wave, but they also get Wrath of the Storm. Because I'm trying to maximize specifically the thunder spells I get, and I don't care about the other stuff, I'm taking level 1 cleric only for armor. First of all, because I'm going to probably go lore bard to make sure that I have enough magical secrets to cover thunder spells. But I'm taking cleric because it also has Wrath of the Storm. It's not technically a spell, but it's an important mechanic to have. So thunder damage. I'm still going to go Lathander because I don't care. You know, so sue me. But anyway, basically I'm just going to pick random crap. You wouldn't really actually play a character like this the way I'm going to do it, because I'm just doing it real quick to try to get access to things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to intentionally maximize all of his spell casting stuff, specifically so that I can try to get as many spells as possible, and we'll see what happens as we go along. Alright, max charisma, and I'm going to max intelligence because I might end up dipping into wizard a little bit. I know the stats are going to suck, but whatever, just trust me. So, by the way, strength is the only one that you benefit from having an odd number. So if I'm a cleric, again, religion, insight, well, don't care. Medicine, who cares? I'm just doing this for an example. We're focusing on the spells. I did my little reclassification, so now we're going to like move over here and do some leveling up. So let's see what happens, and I'm going to count up the spells at the end, and then we'll compare that to doing other things like wizard and see which one comes out with the most interesting stuff. I'm going to have to take I'm really quickly taking some notes. Let's see what happens if I go Cleric 1, Bard 11. So Cleric 1, Bard 11. So what do we have in terms of cantrips when it comes to that? We don't have any Thunder cantrips. I don't think there is any Thunder cantrips, but we'll get to check on that in a second. I'm always getting a Healing Word. I know it claims that I don't have it, or I already have it in Cleric, but this one seems to be bugged. I would recommend picking it anyway, just in case the system doesn't give you what you wanted. And from there, I'm going to do some Bard level stuff. There's no Thunder spells, except for Thunder Wave. We already have that. I shouldn't have to pick it again because it's part of the Cleric spells. So I'm just going to throw some random crap in here, do some Bard type of stuff. Starting instrument, violin, because it's Zach Perlman. Heck yeah. I still think he's awesome, by the way. So abilities, I'm a bard. I'm a bard, yo. So I would want at least persuasion. I usually run my bards as persuaders. I think that's the more polite way to be as a bard, but who cares? This is a game where like you're not being polite to anything that is a literal, breathing, living thing. Alright, any thunder spells here? Nope. So I'm probably going to get stuff like that. But I told myself I wouldn't. Okay, only thunder damage. Is there a thunder spell? Why is it saying I don't have that? Alright, well I'm going to take it anyway just to frickin' be sure. But whatever, who cares? I'm not losing anything on that level. Alright, spells. Thunder spells. Shatter. One of my favorite spells in the game. I'm going to have to be College of Lore because I want a lot of access to magical secrets. I don't really care how this is going to go, so we'll just throw some numbers in here and see what frickin' happens. Who cares? Alright, no thunder cantrips exist. Nah. Spells. Alright, so do we have any thunder spells left that we need to take? No, we don't. So I'm going to take random crap like this. Actually, I'll take this. Just because, you know, I'm just trying to get past. So here's the thing. Now we look at using Magic Initiate to try to get more spells. See, as a wizard, having less ability improvements was a difficulty because you can only get intelligence to like 18. With a bard, the number of spells you can cast or learn doesn't have anything to do with your intelligence score, so we can play around with this and see what happens. So let's try this. Are there spells in Cleric that are thunder? Nope. Are there druid spells that are thunder that we don't get access to? Nope. Are there technically Chromatic Orb? So what I'm going to do is make a command decision. I am taking Chromatic Orb with Sorcerer Initiate, specifically because I want to maximize the number of thunder spells I get. So I'll move past this in a second. There might be another one, but we'll see. And Thunder Wave is a really great spell to have. I'm just going to say it. So Bard, do I see any thunder spells here? Actually, I need to look that up. Glyph of Warding. I want to say that this is the one that you don't get the option to use a thunder variety, but let me look. Variants. Actually, there is a thunder variety, so I'm taking it. So yeah, I did that with my phone. Anyway, not replacing any spells that I know of. Are there any thunder spells I don't have? That's psychic. Alright, so I'm doing that. So let's see what happens now. Now I'm going to pick some more crap. There's a certain baddie in Act 1 that having blindness is really, really convenient for. I'm just going to leave it at that. Alright, I don't see any specific types of... This is Magical Secrets, by the way. I don't see any off the top of my head, but here's one to point out. Thunderous Smite. This is actually sort of humorous. If you get like the Hammer Haft and also hit them with a Thunderous Smite, you're doing like a lot of thunder damage. But anyway, I like to do silly things like that. Do I see any other thunder spells? Let me see. I already have Chromatic Orb. So that's a good point to point out. I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, in theory I didn't have to take that Initiate because I would have gotten it in Magical Secrets. So on this page, it looks like, and I'm saying this carefully, it looks like maybe I didn't have to do that, so maybe I'll try it again here in a second. Am I replacing any spells with any spells? No, I'm not. Magical secrets. I'm going to take haste. It's always nice to have haste. I'm hitting spacebar to skip past all the frickin' intro video, by the way. Alright, I don't see any thunder spells in Bard level 8, or 7 rather, I should say. Sure, why not? Actually, Dimension Door. Alright, let me get over here to the next set of spells. Spells, spells, spells. See, I thought taking Initiate would be helpful in Magical Secrets, so I didn't have to take something, but in the end, it didn't help. In the end, it didn't even matter. Copyright, trademark. Alright, so Warlock, I'm just going to look at it real quick, but I'm not going to take it. See, that's actually necrotic damage for Hex. If I was cold Bard, I would take Armor of Agathis, but I'm not. Is there a wizard spell? Booming Blade is thunder, so, and I think I already took it, but I don't know why it's acting like I didn't. That's weird. I can swear I just took it, so I'm going to skip it. So what I'm going to do is ability score improvement. This is the way to maximize spell damage, because that's what I'm doing is making a spellcaster. Maximize spell damage and the odds of hitting. And if I had to take a sorcerer level, it would be even better as synergy. I don't see any specific thunder spells. What do I want? I'm just trying to breeze past this, so whatever, polymorph. I'm gonna turn some people into sheep and eat them off of high buildings. Vicious Mockery, I'm not picking it because I chose to stick to thunder damage. I don't see any thunder damage spells off the top of my head right here. Probably hold monster. Now Magical Secrets, this is the second screen. Let's see what we get. What could I have had? I want to say that maybe, is it Contagion? No. I think there's one in here that actually does thunder along with cold or some other element. Let me look. No, that's Hunger of Hadar, cold and acid. Never mind. There are no Thunder Spirit Guardians, but actually that would be really freaking cool to have Thunder Spirit Guardians. So I'm going to take this one, Misty Step, and then I'm going to take just some other random crap, who knows, right? Skill proficiencies, who cares? I'm just trying to get through. Replace spell, there's nothing. Thunder. Alright, so I'm almost to the end. Spells. Thunder, 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 thunder. I don't see any specific thunder spells, so whatever. Again, Magical Secrets and Bard doesn't have everything. So what did we get? Let's take some notes because I'm going to try this again with like Sorcerer or Wizard. Alright, I'm going to take notes on my phone. So I have a total number of thunder spells, just checking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 spells. Alright, so we're going to try this again. This time, I know, this time I'm actually going to like do it with Wizard just to check. I don't care about Arabella, I already know. Some other character, I used them to find it out. Alright, so let's say we do it with Wizard. I'm gonna take Tempest Domain because I want Thunder Wave, Lathander because I'm being lazy. Alright, so my object now is to maximize Cleric and Wizard. Yeah, honestly I hate taking Strength 8. I usually try not to. Because then, like, because I pillage everything when I run around in this game. Everything. Like, I pick up boxes and sell them. I pick up, like, you know, like rotting food and sell that. I sell everything. Alright, so let's see what happens if we go Wizard. And we're going to focus on Thunder Spells. So that's actually interesting. I did not know Booming Blade is right there. So we're going to take Booming Blade. Just random crap for the other stuff because Thunder is our focus. Alright, so that's got a thunder element. I'm going to breeze through this really quick just to see if I can minimize how much we're in this screen. Whatever. Prepare spells, thunder, don't care. So I don't need booming blade. Element, evocation, yeah. So what am I going to do with this? Whatever. I'm just going to throw some crap in here. Alright. I don't have any spells that I can take for wizard that have thunder. So let's see what happens here on this screen. Shatter. This is a psychic damage. But Shatter is definitely a good one to have. I don't see any other options at this level. I'm going to take Thunder. I'm just going to make sure that this actually ends up on the home screen when I get out of there. I know sometimes it glitches and sometimes it doesn't. Usually it doesn't. Alright, so now what else am I going to do? I'm going to do Thunder Wave. Whatever. I'll do some shield. Cantrips. As opposed to can't trip if you have the right boots. Anyway. I don't see anything in here that's... Arcane Lock is useful with a certain baddie. I'm just going to say it that way. I'm going to try not to spoil it for you. Alright. Now, again, I want to search this just to check. That wouldn't add anything. That wouldn't add anything. Druid, that doesn't add anything. Sorcerer would not add anything. Warlock would not add anything unless it was cold damage, maybe. That doesn't add anything. Alright, so that doesn't add anything, so I'm going to go all in on my intelligence score to help myself out as a wizard. Spells. Alright, Glyph of Warding. I think that one has a thunder option, so I'm taking that. I don't see any other specific thunder things in here. I don't see Chromatic Orb. So, should be good. I'm going to take that because I want to be able to cancel people's spells. So I'm going to make sure that Glyph of Warding gets on there because I'm going to count them. Alright, now let's see. I want Haste, definitely. Blindness is also really good for a certain baddie in Act 1, but, you know, by this time we're not even at that level. Instead of that, I'm going to take that. So, then I'm going to take... I don't see any thunder options specifically. Google it. Do any minor elementals cause thunder damage? Nope. Not in minor elemental, so I'm not taking that. So I'm going to take Dimension Door. That's Psychic. They did try to color code them, so like I look at the purple ones sometimes, but anyway. Who cares? Actually. Alright, spells, then nothing in here makes any sense, so I just don't care. I'm just going to like grab some crap. I don't have any spells I need to include. Now I'm going to go with an intelligence buff again, trying to get more spells and learn more spells. So, let's see. I want to say the major elementals do. Do any of the conjure elementals in Baldur's Gate 3 do thunder damage? I want to say the answer is yes. I'm searching. Air elemental. Okay. Just making sure I'm being fair. Air elemental... and then I'm going to take some other random crap, hold monster, just in case I need to. Well, I don't really care which one's in there, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Cantrips, I don't see anything that's thunder. Same screen, don't see anything that's thunder, so I'm just going to banish and stuff. I'm just going to throw stuff in there. Yeah. And we're at the last level. I don't see any extra thunder. Any extra thunder damage at all that I can see. So that should be the end of it. So I'm just going to pick something random. Whatever. Alright, so then how many did we end up with? Let's get out our notepad and compare the answers. Alright, so then when we took Wizard to get extra Thunder Spells, why does it do that? Just making sure there's not any like caught here somewhere in the end. Alright, so let's count them up. Thunder Wave, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get 6 of them. So Cleric 1, and then Wizard 11. You just barely get more by going with Wizard, so you get 6. So that basically wraps it up. I proved that even though bards are technically more flexible, you will technically get more thunder spells if you're going just for one element with Cleric 1, Wizard 11 than you would with any other configuration. As always, this is Robert. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.